Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. First tonight, Tasmanian students are back in the classroom as Term 3 begins. There are increasing calls for mask mandates to return, with hospitalisations climbing. However, the government is backing its Safe Schools plan.
School is back for Term 3 and at Friends there's close to full attendance.
Some stages, for some year levels at its worst we could have probably 30-40% of students out.
The school is one of many trying to navigate the pandemic. Staff often affected too.
We're lucky we've got a good bank of relief teachers, and we've got especially some recently retired teachers who are saying, do you need help?
This morning parents dropped their children off at schools free of mask mandates. Teachers are being strongly advised to wear them, as are students.
There's a bit of mask fatigue, and especially when you look at the students who are wearing masks for nearly all of Terms 1 and Term 2.
Advising children won't work. They need to be told what needs to be done.
The Education Minister says his message to Tasmanian families is that schools are safe thanks to a highly vaccinated staff and COVID-safe measures. The Department of Health will work with schools experiencing raised case levels.
That we do need to take protections, and we believe it's now time for government to mandate masks in high-risk settings.
Public Health hasn't yet advised to implement a mandate, and they're facing stiff opposition from industry.
Previously, when it was mandatory, is that the clientele just died. Basically, people started to see hospitality venues as dangerous places to go to, and a lot of people didn't want to wear masks, so they didn't go out to those venues.
The virus continues to impact the state. 2 more Tasmanians have died due to COVID, taking this month's total to 35.
There's about 180 odd people, sadly, are in hospital with COVID. That's about 12% of our hospital beds.
Tomorrow, nurses at the Royal Hobart Hospital will strike. They've long voiced concerns over staffing and workloads. An offer by the Premier to bring forward bargaining negotiations was not enough to deter them. 7 Tasmania News can reveal as part of that deal, he refused to negotiate on wage rises before next year.
Tasmanian nurses are choosing to leave, they're burning out, they're on stress leave, they can't cope.
Australian Health Service with the cracks on full display tomorrow. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Senior Tasmanian public servants have apologised for breaking the Anti-Discrimination Act. Top officials from the State Service, Education, Health, Communities and TasTAFE issued the apology today after being found to have discriminated against union members in 2018. Employees were told they could not apply for leave during stop work action over a cap on wages, and managers directed not to approve it. Tasmanian environmentalists are celebrating a federal court win which will halt the establishment of a tailings dam in the Tarkine rainforest area. The Bob Brown Foundation was behind the campaign, forcing mining company MMG to now find an alternative. They say the decision will help avoid devastation in the natural area.
And from now on, as it should have been for the last more than 20 years, the Environment Minister will need to take into account the precautionary principle every time they look at a development that threatens to destroy threatened species habitat.
Every day we stood in defence of those forests, we knew we were standing for something vitally important.
Hundreds of people rallied against the proposal, with several arrested during protests at the site in recent months. Nearly $1 million is being drilled into the state's mining sector. The funding will go towards exploration on new potential sites. Incoming Resources Minister Felix Ellis says he has no problem being outspoken when he takes on the portfolio.
I know that there are extreme activists who operate in Tasmania, but I'm here to back in the jobs and prosperity of everyday Tasmanians.
The state government funding will back 17 more exploration projects. The AFL is being accused of treating Tasmania like dirt as the fight for a 19th licence intensifies. A final decision is expected within weeks and hinges on a $500 million spat over a new stadium.
Tasmania says it's been blindsided by the AFL's ultimatum for the state to fund a stadium with a roof itself or forget its footy dream.
Strongest possible terms. We will not be dictated to by the AFL. Or stadium was not part of the bid.
The state of Tasmania cannot afford a big flash stadium. The AFL continue to treat Tasmania like dirt.
Club presidents like Collingwood's Jeff Brown consider Tassie's bid next month.
Very clear understanding of the club presidents that a stadium would be part of this deal and delivered as part of this deal.
He has an open mind but stresses the league already funds 2 expansion clubs and an AFLW expansion.
I wouldn't like to see any of those current investments being prejudiced by another drain on AFL finances.
The Tasmanian government today urged to build it, and they will come.
That's exactly the way the Tasmanian people should be looking at it. We're just investing something now, knowing in the long run that the return is going to be exceptional.
But Tiger legend Royce Hart, arguably Tassie's finest footballer, is furious at the AFL's stadium stance.
It looks like a gun at the head, Nick.
With Hart, Baldock, Hudson, Tassie has given so much to footy, but Royce says without an AFL team, it could all end.
If this one doesn't go through, I think it's the death of Tasmanian football.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
A woman who was found guilty of 2 counts of negligent driving causing death will have to wait to hear her fate on the matter. The incident claimed the life of a father and his 2-year-old daughter in Huntingfield 2 years ago. Christine Chatterton fronted the Hobart Magistrates Court today, but her sentence is yet to be handed down. The magistrate told the court she would need time to consider the materials put to her, which included victim impact statements, noting it was quite a unique circumstance. Ms Chatterton is due to reappear to be sentenced on August 12. Tasmanian disability workers have been underpaid nearly $750,000. Not-for-profit disability services provider Live Tasmania incorrectly paid a penalty rate applying to broken shifts. They estimate a large number of current and former staff have been affected. The company expects to reimburse them by September. The estimated cost is $700,000. Clarence ratepayers are being warned of a temporary pause that has been placed on the collection of their recycling and green waste bins. The council says it will remain in place until the end of the month, following significant impacts on driver availability due to COVID. It has since voted to credit ratepayers for the missing service, which will be discounted from future payments. A group of Tasmanian school students have been given the ingredients for success in the hospitality industry at a showcase event today. Growing the sector's workforce, also a key feature of the Hospitality Association's new 2030 vision, as they try to help businesses meet demand.
A sneak peek into what's possible behind the bar. Future movers and shakers getting their first glimpse of a potential career. The student showcase cooking up a storm in Hobart today.
It's a lot of fun. First day back at school and we're doing something fun and learning about hospitality.
From cake making to cocktail creating and plate collecting, leading professionals took them on a brief journey into the jobs available.
Building pathways, creating an interest in the industry and breaking down some of the barriers so students know what opportunities there are and how broad the opportunities are in Tasmania now.
My dad would be pretty interested if I came home and started piping interesting designs and stuff.
Also hopefully helping brew future workers. The COVID crisis and the growth of tourism in Tasmania putting pressure on staff numbers. An area experts warn impacts the sector.
If we can't staff venues, then the venues won't open. So yeah, we need young people and there are opportunities now.
The Hospitality Association well aware of current conditions. Attracting people a key feature of their new 2030 vision.
Off the back of COVID, we've got to make sure that we have a plan. You know, so many businesses have done it so tough off the back of COVID, so we need to make sure we've got a vision going forward.
Stakeholders today briefed on the document, which will be released in coming weeks. The association looking to youth and retirees to fill the gaps.
We're trying to say to them that if they're looking for 10, 15, 20 hours a week work, then hospitality is a great career option for them as well, even if it is just a casual job.
Some jobs, however, might get filled today.
There were definitely some students here who will get work.
I just think it would be fun, I don't know, making things for other people.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
60 Tasmanians will scale new heights this Father's Day to support medical research at the Royal Hobart Hospital. The Edge at Rest Point abseil is back for its 10th year, with organisers hoping to crack past the $10 million raised milestone. Our local NBL side supporting the cause, with Jack the Jumper signing on as an ambassador.
Our very first study was into the jack jumper and its bite, looking at developing a program of desensitisation. And since 2003, there have been no further deaths in Tasmania through jack jumper bites.
Each entrant will head down the 70-metre casino main tower, which is the tallest building in Tasmania. Some of the country's best ballet dancers have landed in Tasmania ahead of a whirlwind tour aimed at bringing the art form to regional cities. The Australian Ballet's gala performances will feature classics from Swan Lake alongside newer works. They'll perform at Launceston's Princess Theatre tomorrow before a 3-show run at Hobart's Theatre Royal from Friday. Critically needed mental health services are now a little more affordable in the state's north. A new clinic, which doubles up as a training ground for psychology students, is set to ease both wait times and the cost of support.
With the need for headspace help on the rise, this will provide peace of mind, professional support with no out-of-pocket gap or fee-free for concession card holders.
To see people in desperate need of mental health services and not being able to access those services, that is a tragedy that, in this day and age, that should not happen.
The new clinic will see master's students provide a wide range of services under the guidance of fully fledged registered psychologists.
The evidence shows that the need for psychology services is just increasing over time.
This clinic in Launceston is going to meet a really unmet need here.
Master's student Alison Wilkes has both her head and her heart in the new service. Having leaned on support in the past, she's now in a position to give back.
Life-changing experiences with mental health professionals, which have just really inspired me.
Those in private practice say wait times routinely stretch into the months. It's even worse for some specialised services like eating disorders, where help can be more than a year away. This clinic hopes to ease some of the load.
Really making sure that we can meet a variety of clinical and therapeutic needs.
Supercharging students with their head in the books and the minds they seek to serve. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
A Hobart man is celebrating after winning $100,000 in today's Lucky Lotteries draw. The winner was contacted by lottery officials earlier today, saying he'll celebrate the win by having a warm cup of tea. The money will be used to help pay off his mortgage.
Tasmania's last AFL game for the season has been locked in for Sunday, August 21, when the Bulldogs take on the Hawks at UTAS Stadium. It's part of a blockbuster final round of the home and away season, which kicks off on Friday night at the Gabba when the Lions host Melbourne. Essendon will battle Richmond on Saturday night at the MCG, while old rivals Carlton and Collingwood will face off on the Sunday. The Hawks and Bulldogs match will begin at 1:10. Tasmania's women's team is looking to end its under-21 Hockey Nationals campaign on a high. Despite being out of the medal hunt, Madison Brooks and Beth Dobby inspired a 3-1 win over the ACT in the playoffs for 5th. They'll roll up for their final game tomorrow night. Tom Rogers has jumped ships from the Hurricanes to the Renegades. The 28-year-old paceman took 20 wickets in 13 matches last season after being a late signing for the Canes squad. He's locked into a 2-year deal with his new Melbourne-based side. And Tasmanian cyclist Nicole Frayne has apologised for her role in a nightmare crash in the Women's Tour de France. She hurtled at high speed into a bunch of riders involved in a nasty pile-up on stage 2, smashing into Italy's Marta Cavalli, who was forced to abandon the race. Frayne later admitted on social media she didn't see the crash until it was too late.
It felt more hectic than yesterday. I don't know if maybe it was probably to do with the wind and things and everybody just trying to jostle for position all the time, and just one of those days, I suppose.
She finished well back in the pack in 86th. Fellow Tasmanian Annulo limped to the line, crossing 3rd last. So a bit of trouble for the Tasmanians in the tour, Louise.
Good evening. 5 degrees above average today as Hobart racked up 17 degrees, as did Grove and Bushy Park. Launceston 15, 14 today in Burnie, Devonport 13. Strawn and St Helens registered 16. Friendly Beaches 15, Lowhead 14, Flinders Island 13 and King Island 11. To 9 a.m, Swansea recorded 33 millimetres of rain. rain, but today the clouds parted a little, just 7 millimetres, the highest fall at Luncheon Hill. A frontal band of cloud is moving over Western Australia, some low cloud under a high over the Bight, with mostly clear skies over the mainland. Tomorrow, the high pressure system has the mainland covered, also extending a ridge our way. However, we do have a trough to the east and a cold front to the west. West to southwest winds tomorrow at 20 to 30 knots, tending northwesterly for a time over western waters, swells to 4 metres. A strong wind warning from Sandy Cape to St Helens Point and also from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. Also an initial minor flood warning for the South Esk River. Forecast for tomorrow, well, the showers are in the forecast again. Hobart a shower or two and 14, Geefston a few showers and 13 the top for Bothwell. Launceston a high tomorrow of 15 degrees with a late shower moving through. Devonport 15, 14 the top for Cressy. Burnie, similar weather, showers increasing later in the day, 14 the top, 13 for Strawn, showery on King Island, Curry 14 degrees, 15 for St Helens, an early shower, morning shower 2 for Swansea and 14 the top for Orford. On Thursday, showers with possible small hail over the west, south and central areas, snow to 400 metres and thunderstorms in the west as well. A cold day on Friday, temperatures back below average as showers ease from the west and south, and on Saturday a cold start and a mostly cloudy day, just a morning shower over the west and far south. An early shower on the cards for Perth, cloud over Adelaide, showers easing from Melbourne, a sunny 17 in Sydney and 19 in Brisbane. And currently we have cloudy conditions prevailing around Tasmania. And for the viewers at home that are ringing in, well, there hasn't been any yet, but Kim Miller is away for the next couple of days undertaking some much needed training. Let's hope Louise, when she gets back Thursday, she's vastly improved.
You're up for that one next. Thanks for that, Merv. That's all your news for now. I'll be back later on with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.